tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Miriam Gonzalez, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
I'm trying to send the link out.
Oh, tonight's episode. Yes.
I like the song.
I do too. Hey guys, Miriam Gonzalez here. Welcome to another episode of Girls, Season 5, Episode 3, titled Japan. Joining us tonight is my favorite girl.
Hey guys, Spicy Mari.
And on the phone, we have Kellie O.
Hi.
Yay! So, ladies, what a great episode. I have to say, every episode that we wind up getting into, I find myself cracking up over the different things that happen. Tonight was a really great show. We had a lot going on with Shoshanna. We had a lot going on with Hannah. We got to see Marnie's husband's penis. And a lot of titty action too. That's how you always want to Skype, with a penis in the background. And a guy shaking his head like he's a wet dog. But tonight's episode was really interesting. We see the love, the little love crush thing that's going on between Jessa and Adam, and she's such an Adam fan. I love them together.
Ooh, what?
I love them together.
Pump the brakes. Are you serious?
Yes, I do like Adam and Jessa together.
Okay.
They make sense.
Okay. I definitely need you viewers at home to be, start tweeting right now, because I need to see your comments. I just tweeted out the YouTube link, so please go to AfterBuzz TV YouTube and make sure that you comment on everything that we're about to talk about right now in tonight's episode.
Yes.
But absolutely, positively, no, and no. Can Adam and Jessa be together?
Yes, and yes.
It is completely inappropriate.
But come on, let's think about this. Okay. Now, everyone is a grown-up. So they're trying to be, right? And I think that this is such an interesting dilemma, because I think it happens a lot more than not. And I mean, once a relationship is over, and even if you're friends and whatever,
friends,
they seem to have a very unique connection. And it kind of begs the question, I mean, if that really is your best friend, are you going to deny your best friend maybe what could be possibly a really deep relationship just because you're mad that that's your ex-boyfriend?
So,
somebody you don't want to be with anymore. You've moved on. I mean, it's interesting. I feel like this is a very interesting storyline, and I'm very curious to see how they're going to play it out, because I actually agree with Miriam. I think that they're great together, and it reminds me of like the same scenario that happened in a movie that I saw, where it was like two sisters ended up dating the same guy. And it's interesting, because what if this is kind of the one for her, and she's just saying no only because of Hannah? Like, how fair is that on the other side of the coin?
Okay, as the rational relationship expert on the panel, sleeping with your best friend's recently ex-boyfriend doesn't usually work out too well. And because we know Adam very well, and we know Jessa very well, they are two nuts. They're kooky. We get it. They're going to have, a ton of fun together. But just because somebody has chemistry with somebody else doesn't necessarily mean it's appropriate to be with that person. Because there's a lot of people out there that you can have chemistry with, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be the one, or that you should bang that one, especially if it's so close. I mean, it's almost incestual, the way that all of these people are starting to sleep with each other now. I mean, Ray,
isn't that kind of like life when you're in a small circle of people? I mean,
they need to venture out, because they all are hooking up with each other, and everybody, has had a shot at each other to the point where they slept with the gay bestie. Now, Jessa's sleeping with, Adam. Like each one, Ray wants to hook up with Martin. Like everybody's in love with somebody who they probably shouldn't be with. And it just, it's going to only create more problems. I mean, their friendship is going to be over, and I don't see Hannah being the bigger person because she's never been the bigger person.
No.
So I don't see that going over too well. So if Adam is going to be her husband and she sees Adam as the father of her children, and it is worth losing Hannah, then okay. But do I think that Jessa is even in that mind frame? Absolutely not.
Well,
no, but I mean, how do you know until you know? You know what I mean? Like, just because she's not husband searching or searching for that deep, meaningful relationship with someone, and I'm not saying that this is like the end all for her by any means, but I mean, you never kind of know where a relationship is going to go, and yes, by society standards, and when that is your best friend, and and if I was in that situation, I on either side of it, it would be terrible and hard, and I totally understand where you're coming from. But if you look at it from the other unselfish side, it just makes me wonder, like, how selfish should you be getting in the way of someone else's relationship when it is clearly over on your end?
The unselfish side, Adam wanted to be with Hannah a few weeks ago, like before last season. He was, over an incubator or whatever, a baby incubator, asking for Hannah back. Now that Hannah's moved on with her new boo, now he's going after Jessa. And this is not uncommon in close circles, like you said, Kelly, where friends are often fond of their partners, their partner's friends or whatever, because you see a lot of those endearing qualities and things that you respect about the partner that you're with. Their friends often carry those attributes. So it's easy to fall for them because they are very similar. But does that necessarily mean to take that next leap? Sometimes you just have to choose friendship over your lust, because that's what it is. It's a lust.
You know what? Sometimes you don't.
But answer me this: do you think that when they're at the apartment and Jess is watching him on television, do you think that Hannah would have had an equally supportive reaction to his part on TV?
Absolutely not.
No.
I do not think that him and Hannah should have been together, because they were both two very immature, crazy people as well. But I'm an advocate of iron sharpens iron, and Adam is not iron, and Jessa is not iron. Hannah is not iron, and Adam is not iron. Just because Hannah and him didn't work out doesn't mean now he should be with Jessa. I think he needs to find somebody who can elevate him.
He's gone outside of
advocate here.
He's gone.
It's an interesting storyline.
He's gone outside of their circle, and that didn't work out for him. So for him to be with someone like Jessa, who, I mean, you want to be friends with whoever you ultimately end up with.
Absolutely, you should
like
definitely
this,
be friends.
But it just happens like this. He's a lot more supported by Jessa than Hannah. Like Hannah's immature, Jessa's not so immature. I don't know, the chemistry is just there, and so we'll see.
Wait, sorry, I have to comment on what you just said. You said that he did try stepping outside of his circle.
He did.
But he didn't, because he got with wasn't that Jess's cousin or best friend or something?
No, the AA lady.
Yeah, but
her
that's
daughter.
still outside of their immediate circle.
Yeah.
And then another woman that he dated.
But it wasn't outside of their immediate circle.
It's
It's like the cousin, or it's still within their circle.
But it wasn't someone that Hannah knew. She wasn't friends with her. She didn't even know who she was.
No, but Jessa was. Like, you don't see how this is a crazy toxic situation.
No, but it was still once removed, so it was still a little bit outside.
And if it was right, Jessa would not be fighting it so hard, because her intuition is telling her, hey, I want to be a good person. I want to do right by my friend for the first time. And she's not following her instincts. She's playing with fire.
And someone's definitely going to wind up getting burned.
Yes.
And, Hannah is, and we see in tonight's episode, she is immature. She doesn't, she won't acclimate to that relationship. And we see that when, she finds random naked pictures of random chicks on Fram's phone. And come to find out, he's like, no. She's like, he's like, no, like those are my ex-girlfriends, which is weird, people.
So you think that's inappropriate, but sleeping with your best friend's ex is not. But masturbating to your exes is okay, or not okay in your book.
I mean, there's so much not okay. I just said I'm a fan of Jessa and Adam. But, you know, it's the fact, and I love how Hannah puts it, which I agree. I'm like, why couldn't Fran just watch regular porn? And his reasoning is so messed up.
I completely get his reasoning, and I liked his reasoning.
What, underaged, abused, and girls on drugs?
Absolutely.
Not every porn star's that messed up.
Well, I think that he was looking at it from a, you know, this is, I think it was making him feel dirty when he when he thought about, you know, those things, because a lot of that you know, the dirtiness does come with it.
Yeah.
And it is, you know, you have to, it's a very murky industry. Like, you have to be very careful with any kind of porn. But, you know, him looking at his exes, I think, is inappropriate. But his reason for not being into porn, I think, is appropriate.
Though, a little bit. Like, what was she doing looking through his phone in the first place?
He handed her his phone.
Or something doesn't mean to keep, you know, yeah, but he didn't hand it to her to swipe through.
Still.
Like, when does that become?
When you hand someone your phone, you're giving them the okay to go through your
Pretty
sheets.
much. He showed her a photo in his photo album.
No, you psycho stalker. No.
I'm gonna keep swiping left.
You have to have respect for someone else's stuff. Like, that's just a given.
But you know, the fact that it was now found just goes to show it's like, you know, we see that when they're having sex eventually, that distracted her. That plays with your ego. It plays with your insecurities. And, you know, when she's at the cafe and she says to Ray and Elijah, you know, she's like, why can't it just be like random women? I'd rather it be randos than like, you know, these other
women who he used to be with.
Yeah.
And that's the part that makes it takes it out of fantasy, because that's what porn gives you. It gives you, you know, moments of fantasy. But when you are in an intimate relationship with someone and you're no longer with them and now you've moved on, you haven't really moved on if you're still orgasming to the previous person that you were with. So I can see how that can mess with Hannah.
Yeah.
It's completely inappropriate, and there is no way, shape, or hell that my ex would have, that my boyfriend would have photos of his exes.
All right, so this is my question. How do you know?
Because I would go through his photo album. Just like I went through his Facebook and his Instagram and was like, delete that shit.
But I mean, you know, maybe I'm just very untrustworthy of anyone, but I always feel like, don't start looking through something if you don't want to find something you don't want to find.
Kelly, I completely agree with that.
It usually always happens
That's like asking the question, how many people have you slept with? Never ask the question
if you don't want to know.
Exactly.
Don't ask questions and don't look through things that, you know, you just shouldn't.
Well,
and
Kelly, I understand what you're saying, but there's a certain, are you being private with somebody because you have something to hide, or are you being private with somebody because it's none of their business? Because I do think that if I don't have anything to hide, you can have access to everything. Yeah. But if I have something to hide, you better not touch my phone. Like, I go to dinner with my phone flipped over.
He doesn't lock his phone. He wasn't hiding it, and he automatically answered the question and didn't beat around the bush and didn't hide it. I don't think he was hiding it. I think it was none of her business, and it was private. It was his, you know, it was the things he was masturbating to, not necessarily like things he just kind of wants out in the open.
Yeah.
And I feel like people have the right to their privacy. Like, just because you don't necessarily like the content, like, that's a whole nother issue and should be a different conversation for sure.
But is your sex life private from your partner? Because I don't think your sex life should be private from the person you're sleeping with.
If you're sharing a bed with me, we're on a need to know basis at this point. You're sharing a bed with me. I don't want you masturbating to an ex-girlfriend, because then you're out. Like, that's like hit the road, Jack kind of stuff. It's just inappropriate.
Like I said, I understand that, like, that's a whole different conversation, and that depends on your level of intimacy with that person. But I mean, like I don't know. I don't like the invasion of privacy at all. Like, I get what she found, and it's not cool, and I'm not saying that that's okay. It's just like it's the simple fact that I just feel like that's so wrong. Like, if you want to see something or you want to talk about something, then, you know, have a conversation about it and, you know, hear what the other person has to say. And then if you don't like it, then, decide what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Deal with it or
Kelly,
move on from
you sound
it,
like your
know?
phone has been hacked a little bit before. Are you struggling from an ex that went through your phone? Is he watching this episode? If you caught Kelly in the act before, tweet at us at AfterBuzz TV, okay?
Yes. Also, you guys can go to iTunes, download our this podcast. You can rate and comment on the iTunes.
Yes, and
let us know
too.
what you think and tweet at us. I mean, am I wrong? Is Maddie wrong? Is Kelly wrong? It's all wrong.
Or
who's
gotta
right?
know.
Yeah, I mean,
You guys know
I
I'm
mean,
right
I
there.
had a girlfriend that literally would hack into every account her boyfriend had. Email, bank accounts, like everything.
Damn.
I always thought that was so.
Damn.
And
She's like,
I think
$2
that's
at
where this comes
Starbucks.
from, because, you know, girls get such a bad rap for being like stalkers and crazy and like all that, and this is why.
Hey, I'm not crazy. I'm
just,
passionate.
You know, like taking it to that next level, and you know, it just makes you wonder, like, you know, what part of the whole scenario?
Well,
I mean,
all
like,
right.
Of course, like the content, bad.
But we're
Why
dealing with
why is he
Hannah,
being taking pictures
right?
of his ex-girlfriend.
Kel, we already know that Hannah is an insecure person, and she does battle with
Yeah.
her weight issues. She, you know, has worked very hard on her self-esteem. And so I do understand what she's saying. And, you know, there is that conflict of, you know, is the ex a better catch than me? You know, are you still desiring your ex?
It does make you question who you are and where you are in your relationship. Like, Fran may not be that serious about Hannah, which is why he still has these pictures. But then he also said to her, he goes, you know, I would masturbate. I'd be happy to masturbate to you. But you send me goofy pictures where it's like you naked and doing a peace sign. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of get it.
And so to Hannah's defense, and which I am very proud of Hannah as well, she stepped up and she knew, okay, I'm lacking in this department with my man. How can I spice things up a bit? So, you know, she goes to Ray.
I love the photo shoot with freaking Ray and Elijah. And
that was the best.
my favorite
In the coffee shop?
in
Is
the
that where
coffee
they were
shop
doing it?
with the freaking lace curtain.
And I love their direction.
Well, it was my favorite. He's like, you know, smile, you know, make sure your lines are right. And he's like, no Katie Holmes. He's like my favorite.
Like you're getting cake.
Like you're about to get some cake.
Yeah.
And then he goes, there she is. You know, like.
That was adorable. And I appreciate her taking initiative because, you know, she was trying. And, you know, she probably does think that she can step it up on the sexy a little bit. And so him bringing it to her attention and her being active about it, you know, I commend Hannah for that because a lot of women would be scared to.
Yeah, but, you know, come to find out a little later, you know, she goes through his phone and then starts deleting all the pictures of the ex-girlfriends. And I love what she says. She's like, oh, this is his Ted Bundy secret life. The secret life of Ted Bundy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Which it feels like she feels like she's with a serial killer.
That's her
the
immaturity.
comment.
Her comparing him to a serial killer.
You know?
Is Hannah's
Like,
immaturity.
that's just how insecure she is about her body.
Yeah.
And about, you know, and I absolutely get it. And I don't think that was cool and all of that. And she should have had a real conversation with him about it and let him know and asked him if he would, you know, delete those photos because they make her uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And see what his reaction would be. I mean, I think that kind of gives you a sense of what your relationship is if you can have an open dialogue, because it is. If you're sleeping together and you want to know all and all of that, like you guys were saying, well, then talk about it and see what the real answer is. And then if you don't like it, then you can make a decision from there on
Absolutely.
how you feel about that relationship.
Well, speaking of decisions, we had Shoshanna in Japan, which I love how she's like, I don't want to go back to America. I feel like I'm one of you guys now.
I don't even care about Americans anymore.
Yeah, like I just love that
They're
girl.
my family.
Her character is just too freaking cute. And, you know, we see that she has this chemistry with her boss, Yoshi.
Yeah.
And
Yoshi is cute. He's like dreamy.
He is dreamy.
He looks Japanese, but he looks like he's mixed with a little bit of like he's mixed with some kind of like Latino there. Like he's really cute. He's mixed with something. He's not full Japanese because he had like those. He had those like Brad Pitt eyes. Like he was dreamy. I was like, I've
No,
never
he
seen
was
a Japanese
definitely
like this.
cute. And you know, we see that, you know, there's this chemistry between the two of them, and they wind up. I love those spas, by the way, which I was like, God, I want to go get a massage.
And did they
now.
do that midway during their workday? Because I mean, that was
That's
a
what it
cultural
looked
shock
like,
for me
right?
too. Because
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the Japanese workday. I need to do some research on that. But they were bathing all together in a community bath, all the women and the men separated, talking about each other's experiences and the crushes that they had. I thought that was really cute.
It was cute. I love how they're like, he's into you. He thinks you're a shiny star, But you know, it's the fact that like she really likes him, and so she confides in the girls in the spa about it, and then he really likes her. And I love how they like paint American girls. American girls are easy. No,
Loose.
we're not. No, we're not. Please.
But
you know?
I think it's because, you know, I think that they follow a different moral compass when they're a little bit stricter, I think, when it comes to sleeping with people. I'm just gonna say, I don't know, I feel like, you know, they're very much about honor.
You remember where they went? You remember where they took Shoshanna?
Oh my God!
Oh yeah, that's true.
Really? You think they're a little stricter?
Let's not go too far yet. So before we get to that part, because it's just too good to not talk about. You know, she winds up getting a phone call, a Skype call from Abigail, who's her boss in America, and I love how she says, "We're managing you out instead of firing."
Right.
You know, it's a light ending
Of a relationship.
and you know,
business partnership.
end of your salary.
And a salary.
You know, and you know, she's kind of going through this thing where it's like she doesn't want to leave Japan. She's totally in love with the culture.
She's immersed herself.
Yeah, she really has. And you know, she does have her boyfriend Scott waiting for her back in the States, but she's not really into that. She's into Yoshi now. So with her heart being so broken from losing her job, she goes and she calls, you know, she texts Yoshi and she's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" So they wind up going up in the club and they're dancing their asses off, and it's, you know, they're having a great time, and she needs that. And then we find them in, which I love that they call it the Trump room.
What is that called?
I
Really?
know,
Though? Is it
I
like a
saw
brothel?
that.
What is that?
I was like, okay, Lena, we get that you're anti-Trump.
Oh, but okay. So yeah, I'm the slow one. It just hit me. Yes, because I definitely got the article that Kelly sent. why she voted for Trump. I mean, why she voted for Hillary.
Yes, she's
Or why
very-
she's for pro Hillary. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're in the Trump club, which I think is hysterical, and you know, the one guy is getting freaking wax dripped on his, to quote, his asshole. He's like, "Look, Shoshanna, I'm getting wax dripped down my asshole." It's like, whoa, dude. And you know, they want her to put on this nurse costume and join in on the fun. And I mean, I definitely would enjoy a club like that just to watch. I don't know if I'd want to participate.
Ah.
And they, I mean,
Oh, Miriam.
She's
is that right?
she's a voyeur. Mhm.
no, but they were sitting there eating popcorn, watching him get his, you know, what, his ass waxed. So to
But
speak.
they forced her to like.
That she put the costume on and went and did it. I thought that was funny.
It was, you know, and you can see it that she's coming out of her shell a little bit. She's not as prude as she used to be. I mean, she still has it, that prudeness, that sweetness, that innocence. But, you know, they got her to come out of it a little bit. And so when she puts on that costume and starts with the whipping, which was hysterical.
We had to see that though, because you guys just enlightened me with the remembering about the article and the name of the location. We had to see a woman spanking a man for this scene in order for it really to have the, you know, Lena Dunham scene.
Yeah.
Like she flagged that, you know, she flagged it. It was a
Right.
power trip. It was a woman dominating a man, just like the election. So
Yes, a little bit of politics
now
tonight.
it's clicking. Now I'm like, ooh, okay, Lena, I see what you're doing.
A little bit of politics
Yes.
stuck in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You guys tell us what you think. Tweet at us. You know, comment on our YouTube, comment on iTunes. But, you know, she definitely, there is a whole like domination thing going on there. It was hot and fun. And thank you, Lena, for providing us to see that, because I was laughing my ass off. But, you know, we see that when they leave the sex club, she gives in to her desire, because Yoshi the whole time was trying to protect her. He's like, no, don't force her to do it.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to do it. And then when she like does it, you know, she feels bad that she like whipped the guy really hard, but he
'Cause she
loved
heard
it. But he loved it.
But I think also Yoshi knows what the fellas think about her behind her back. You know, they have this perception of American women.
Yeah.
So I think a part of him too wants to protect her and her image, and nobody wants to see the girl that they're in love with spanking their best friend, other than Kelly.
Right.
So Kelly's the only one.
Yeah, well,
you and Kelly both, you know, think that it's okay, you know, for best friends to hook up with, you know.
Okay, Marty.
All right, girls. All right. But we see that Yoshi, you know, is trying to protect the innocence that is a part of Shoshanna.
Yeah.
And so when they leave, you know, the Trump club, I mean, she put Trump in the title twice. It was like Nude Trump and Trump Club. Anyhow, Yoshi, she goes and she kisses Yoshi, and which I was like totally for, because he is dreamy. But she goes and she kisses Yoshi, and now she's kind of stuck in this dilemma where it's like, should I stay or should I go? And I love how, like, when she was having a little earlier in the evening when she was talking to the girls, they were like, oh, why don't you just stay? She's like, I'm not wealthy, They were like, oh, we figured you were wealthy because of your spoiled attitude. Right. And she's like,
that's
no.
just how us Americans act.
Yeah, she's like, we're kind of assholes, and she really can't afford to stay in Japan without a job.
I know.
Unless Yoshi hooks her up with something else.
And that is a possibility. She's created a life for her in Japan, and I think she knows what is waiting for her in America. She knows that her girlfriends are going to be there. She knows that her boyfriend is going to be there.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of her for leaving too, because she would always regret it if she didn't go, if she chose to stay for him as opposed to following her career.
Yeah.
So that was a big step for her. So she finally got the courage to go and pick up her life and leave everything she knows, only for it to be taken away from her in the matter of, moments. So I really commend her for not getting on that plane.
We see that.
Definitely. And not going back to the same, just the expected life. Like, she's staying for something unexpected, and I like that.
Well, we see that she is torn. She doesn't get on the plane. Poor Scott is waiting at the airport with a sign and like flowers, and she never shows up. And so it's going to be interesting to see where this goes, what her true decision is.
Out of respect for her partner, because that was really rude. If you ever make me drive to LAX and you're not on that freaking flight, I'm going to kick your ass. That was so rude. And I know that wasn't LAX, but I'm just saying that whatever airport, it's not convenient. That is the most inconvenient.
I mean, if that
Send
was
an Uber, but do not have me drive to the airport and you not show up. So she should have, out of respect, because he hasn't done anything wrong to her, she should have let him know, hey babe, I'm not coming. I need a little bit more time to figure things out. And she hasn't even tried to look for another job.
It's as simple as a text message. Even when you're in the air flying, you can text someone. Wi-Fi.
Exactly.
I message you my whole
She
flight.
can WhatsApp him with 50 million apps. You can let him he can get the message.
Tango, he can Skype, something. But, with that being said, girls, let's get into some predictions. What do we think is going to happen?
Your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
All right, we'll start with Kellie on the phone. What do you think is going to happen?
I like that the show is dealing with some deeper situations this time around. It's not so in your face, and I think that's like the article that I had sent you guys about it not being as talked about, this season it has been in the past, because I think it's dealing with some deeper issues, and I kind of like that.
Yeah.
As in with the Jessa and Adam relationship. I want to see where that goes. I want to see kind of how they decide to handle it, because I feel like it is such a, I don't want them to do kind of the expected way. I want to kind of see how it goes. Personally, I don't think that Jessa's going to be able to hold out that much longer, just based on her personality. So we'll see when I think she's going to cave sooner rather than later, especially because Adam is so persistent.
Okay, Maudie, what do you think?
So I disagree because of the way that they set it up, and I just feel like Girls is going to surprise us. I think that we're going to see Jessa and Adam not hook up, because that's what we're expecting. We expect for both of their characters. I'm not surprised that their characters were jacking off to each other without touching, which is actually pretty spicy. I might try that.
That is kind of hot.
That was kind of hot. I was like, ooh, that's a good idea.
It really is.
But I don't think I don't think there's gonna be any actual penetration. Just because I think for once we're gonna see a little bit of growth, and we're gonna see Jessa turn down the D for Hannah. I do see that happening.
I mean, she's definitely fighting it off. She's definitely fighting the urge, because she wants to. I think that she's finally going to give in to Adam, and they are going to hook up. I really think they are. And we see it in the preview where he says to her, he goes, she would do it to you in a heartbeat. Hannah would do this to Jessa in a heartbeat.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
But why do you guys think that?
Have you seen Hannah?
I think she's just too selfish of a person. I don't think that she puts anyone else's feelings above hers at all.
No.
I mean, she's comparing her boyfriend to a serial killer right now based on what he has on his phone.
And you know
what I mean? Like, she's not thinking on the other side of it.
No, she's not. And in part of predictions, I see that because the relationship now has become rocky between Hannah and Fran, because obviously he's going to find out that she went through his phone. She made her naked ass his screensaver, which is hysterical, and got rid of all the girlfriends, you know? And that's going to put a big tear in their relationship. And I think what's going to wind up happening is if she's having problems with Fran, she's going to see Jessa and Adam, and then she's going to want Adam back.
Yeah, I definitely can see.
Exactly.
I can foresee her wanting Adam back and it being awkward. I agree with you on that, Miriam. Yeah. I totally agree with you on that. But one thing about Hannah is that she is aloof. She is extremely selfish. But we have not seen her disloyal to her friends yet. We have not seen her looking at any of her friends' guys or anything like that sexually. I don't see that in her character to where she would do that to Jessa. Where Jessa is, you know, legs open like the wings of a bald eagle. Like Jessa gives it up. It's not hard to get in between Jessa's legs, where I don't think that it's the same for Hannah. I don't think Hannah would do that to her.
I don't know, and we will see. You guys let us know what you think. My last prediction, I just see Sugar Daddy Dill being Elijah's baby daddy, like Sugar Daddy. Like,
oh, you think he's the one?
I think that he's the one. I think he's the one. And I love how he says to Ray, he goes, you know, I'm dating, I have this date tonight. He's super famous. Like,
I think he's going to mess with Elijah and spit him out.
You think so?
Yes, he's totally Elijah's just a pawn for him. He's just, you know, a cute guy that he wants to hook up with once. I don't think that that's going to be a real relationship.
No, I think that it's going to work. I hope it does.
What?
I like them together. When they had the chemistry last week in the freaking, you know, at the restaurant and the bar or whatever. It was fantastic. Anyhow, let us know what you guys think.
Make a life in Japan.
Yeah. Let us know what you guys think. You can tweet at us. Kelly, where can they find you?
At Kelly with an IE079 on Twitter and Instagram.
And you guys can play with my Twitter or stroke my Instagram at Spicy Mari.
You can find me, Miriam L. Gonzalez, on Twitter, or Miriam G1 on Instagram? Yeah, Instagram. Anyway, until next week, kids, we will see you there. Best line of the night, don't be thirsty.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.